Hello and welcome to another StarCraft 2 co-op video. Today we'll be looking at another post from a Chinese forum about the upcoming mutation. Average difficulty. Even though it's a little difficult, the effects of the mutators are lessened because this is a relatively easy map. Even though there's going nuclear, aside from the shuttles, you can fight everything else at home. The warp conduits aren't far from the safety zones, so you can run up to the shuttles and take them out when they get close. Research vessels? The Zelnaga Temple clearly can't run. Why do you have to go to Amon's territory to do research? If you really love to get yourself killed, then just die. Doesn't matter since there's no transmutation. As for Just Die Barrier, in this era with OP commanders, the strength of the enemy lies in the first wave. If your hero unit hasn't come out yet and your top bar isn't ready, I suggest putting some trash buildings in front and sim city until your hero unit comes out. Don't make 2 to 3 units and show off your micro in Amon's face. If you don't draw aggro correctly, the enemies will bite your workers and you'll suffer more losses. Also, in terms of coding logic, when Just Die is triggered, the enemy doesn't actually die and then revive. The damage from the fatal blow will be reduced to 0, and then the unit's HP will be replenished to full. As such, you will definitely trigger the barrier. Unrelated, why is it that when I play RTK, my ally will lure the units from trash structures up to the base, confusing me to no end? Recommended commanders. If you think it's not stressful to dodge nukes manually when your units are outside, choose your favorite commander with good head-on strength. The following commanders all stay at home in safe zones during downtime and go out to fight attack waves when the shuttles get close. Dehaka P2. Tech opening with drone F13. 3 pack leaders deal with attack waves, leave the shuttles to the creeper hosts. Flying banelings can fly about half the map's distance, but you have to watch them to avoid nukes since the CD is a bit long. The only problem is that Dehaka might not be able to take on the first wave since it comes with Just Die and Barrier. As such, even though there's a bit of difficulty due to the multitasking, I still recommend farming essence while dodging nukes. At least get to level 2 so you can get Roar. At the same time, make 2 Hydras and merge them into an Impaler. When the attack wave spawns, Dehaka roars at them and then walks around to stall time. After the Impaler is done, have it fight together with Dehaka, then go break the Expo rocks. Lone Wolf. You should still dodge the center of the nukes. Get Sirius's anti-air gear ASAP so you can deal with shuttles a bit later. When dealing with attack waves, Tychus should throw his grenade ASAP to trigger Just Die, then run backwards. When the grenade CD is over, throw another one to end it. You can also choose P0 or P1 since VL doesn't require you to attack on multiple fronts and there aren't many encampments to push. Vega can mind control big units to prevent Just Die, because if you take them, they don't get to die at all. Stedman P2. Don't use Igor twice in a row because the enemies are invincible when reviving. You can rely on the blue zone to dodge nukes and deal with attack waves. Lazy dogs or lings can also stay at home and deal with attack waves. When taking out the shuttles, leave a Gary zone in case your Stedalites get nuked. As for units, use the usual Ling Hydra. If your dual partner will use units, you can consider using P1. Zeratul P2. I personally recommend making units because if you project too few cannons, you will have to go out earlier to deal with the enemies and might not be able to take out the shuttles. If you project too many, the nukes might take them out. For units, use ambushers or enforcers plus shield guards. When enforcers attack overlapping shuttles, you can see the 25% splash range damage, which is pretty impressive. Just make extra Omega ships. Unload the Omega ships when engaging the enemy. When a nuke is overhead, get in the Omega ship and switch to a new one. For the first artifact, you can choose the Yellow Crystal, Void Suppression, because it can slow down the speed of the shuttles, giving you time to deal damage. For attack waves, the yellow avatar is enough. Use a Legion on the first wave. If your ally can deal with the first wave, select the Sir Death Legion so you can mitigate some of the Just Die in the mid to late game. There are few doodads on VL. If you aren't proficient at finding fragments, you will need to regroup your forces. It's best to ensure that your army is inside an Omega ship or a safe zone when searching for artifacts so that you don't get nuked. If you often have trouble searching for artifacts, Zeratul should go to a safe zone before searching. Carax P3. Let attack waves go to your base, then deal with them using cannons and top bar. Make mirages. If you don't have many mirages, go out and wait until the shuttles overlap, then use your top bar. If you have a lot, you can head out earlier and attack the shuttles head on. Remember to dodge mushrooms, the nukes. After blasting the shuttles, the mirages can return home or go to another point. Leave the escorts to your cannons. You might be tight on energy in the early game, so you can put your cannons on the inside of the high ground, then leave a space between the cannons. This will make the enemies line up so you can maximize your solar lances. Basically, SimCity, so that they can get stuck in one space. Like if they walk through here, then use solar lance 1, 2, 3. Blast the shuttles 9 times to trigger Just Die, and then they will be invincible for 1 second. So when you use shift or to orbital strike in succession, you can count this number. Wait until 10 minutes to start Mirage production. By that time, your defense should be more or less done, so you don't need to think too much about this. Zagara P1, an alternate version of Karax. Spines, spores, and biolaunchers defend the base. Scourge crash into the shuttles. You can split the Scourge into groups. The first group triggers Just Die, the second group takes them out. The week after is Fatal Attraction, Self-Destruction, Walking Infested on VP, 3 weeks until Cold is the Void. Another mutation where Lone Wolf repeatedly switches screens. In the early game, do your best to minimize the fighting to 2 or fewer fronts to avoid getting nuked. After 15 minutes where you have your medevac platforms and armor upgrades, you can fight on 3 to 4 fronts. Getting hit by the side of a nuke isn't a big problem. Just Die plus Barrier make it harder to push the bases. You need Tychus and Sirius to work together in a small area. Nux taking care of attack waves is unaffected, so Nux can spawn camp one side. If it's a ground comp, Blaze can take care of one path of attackers. Otherwise, you can only make Vega and have Tychus defend the other spawn point. If you just stay at home, the window to attack each set of shuttles becomes extremely tight. But if you move out earlier to attack, you will have to deal with 2 different forms of pressure, Just Die escorts and nukes. If you mass units, but don't have enough DPS, you'll have to take risks. Rainer, a mutation where drop pod mastery is most useful. All units must be summoned via drop pod, so you don't have to be afraid of nukes taking out reinforcements while they're walking. I recommend P3 or P2 Mass Vikings. Use their superior range to take out air units. Kerrigan, Just Die is essentially adding HP, not damage. Mass mutas and delete them. This is the value of double cost reduction. But you have to be careful of Vipers and Science Vessels. Artanis, I must regroup my forces. Shuttles are armored, which they are not, so besides brute forcing with Dragoons, you can only focus fire with Tempests and Phoenixes. But you will feel constipated no matter how you fight, so why not just help your ally deal with attack waves? Swan, don't waste your gas. You can reduce the area you defend at home, or you can mass wraiths. If Stetman is P1, Swan can also use P1 to abuse the vision. You don't need Stetman P1 to get vision. I don't know why people keep thinking that. Just worry about killing and not burying. Not sure what that is. As the OP said, Scourge and Bow Launchers split into groups to attack the shuttles. It's better to leave the escorts to your ally. Karax, P3 towers defend home, that's all. P2 carriers DPS is high, but they are slow and large, and they can easily get nuked, so this isn't my first choice. Nova, this mutation is an exercise battle. Marines move fast so they can brute force the shuttles. If the enemy comp is Zerg, add ghosts. Attack waves? No idea. Leave them to your ally. Abathur, Devour says, I'm freaking coming. Horazun, it's better to just black hole the attack waves. Can't mess with the shuttle escorts. It's because Void Rays need upgrades and are expensive. Han Horner, the biggest problem is that Galleons aren't fast enough. I recommend defending against attack waves and escorts at home with Reapers. BCs take out the detectors, Wraiths take out the shuttles, then run. This is a good plan. If you're fighting Terran, you don't even need the BCs. Stukov, didn't think of this, did you? Liberators have arrived. Do you like my 85% damage reduction after reducing armor first? If the enemy is Zerg, remember to use Apocalypse to shoo away infestors. Alarak P3 Death Fleet A move. Done. Tychus. You can take different paths with Lone Wolf or group up all 5 outlaws. After all, the ultimate goal is to focus fire the shuttles. It just depends on whether or not you can handle attacking multiple fronts. Dahaka. It's safer for creeper hosts to blast things in waves. Their ability to focus fire will be even better. However, if you wish to forego smart thinking, you can choose to mass mutas and F2A. Bonus damage against air, damage reduction when moving, can revive, can get healed by Dahaka. Does one muta really have all of these powerful things? Phoenix. I don't know why, but I want to recommend a Sea of Scouts for this mutation. This mutation punishes people who F2A large armies, so I can only think of this plan. Manx. You must believe that the Dominion will protect you. Shuttles just happen to have the massive tag, so it's perfect for Sky Furies, which fly quickly and are anti-massive. As for defense, you can just stuff some armed troopers in bunkers. Your ally won't always be a dead person, right? Stedman. P2 is better at dealing with attack waves and escorts. P1 is better at focus firing shuttles. From the perspective of playing as a duel and one person having to make units, I personally recommend P1, so the units benefit. Invincible satellites means permanent vision and buffs. They can help units dodge nukes and replenish HP. They can also give Swan vision for his laser, all other Stedman prestiges, so you can take out a group of shuttles in advance. Zeratol. Yellow Crystal, Yellow Avatar anti-air enforcers, and Omega ships can fly everywhere on the map. Nobody will get nuked and have to regroup their forces when they're searching for artifacts, right? Next one. Nobody will have to regroup their forces, for sure, but when I played this, Zeratul has died before. When the artifact spawns in the center path below the cliff, I have to group up and make my way across. I only see white land below the cliff in the search bubble. I can't remember the shapes of the cliffs. Next one. In the era of OP commanders, this mutation isn't that hard. Raynor should spend his extra money on bunkers with a few marines at home to provide a little defense. Same with Kerrigan. Make spines with extra cash. Artanis should mass air and can make some zealots to repair bunkers. I don't get how. Swan masses Wraiths, so he won't have much spare cash. For Nova, she can afford to make Liberator Raven in a duel, which she can do in a solo as well, since she can move around when fighting against air. It's just that when they siege, you have to remember to airlift them or give them defensive drones whenever needed. Also, Zeratul's Void Arrays can provide 2 shields per second recovery, which is pretty important. Remember to have his units stand under the sieged array. Yes, for this mutation, aside from the 2 shield per second recovery, the units inside the range can instantly get in the ship if a nuke comes, so even if your reaction is slow, you can make it. As for attack waves, the yellow avatar says, aren't you supposed to be Tempests? And that's it for this post. What advice do you have for this mutation? Comment it down below and I'll see you next time.